Welcome back to another episode of the Throne of Angels video blog. I am your host, rolling solo today, Derek Osborne. We're going to do something a little bit different today. Today, we are going to do kind of a product featurette. We're going to look at a model that I just completed as part of a commission for a friend of mine. And I'm just going to kind of give you a step-by-step of the paints that I use. I'm not obviously going to do a tutorial here. I am just going to give you a brief overview of what I did to achieve this. We'll take a look at this model in detail a little bit later. Now, to start out with, I generally tend to do my priming and my base coating with an airbrush. Some models I do highlight with, but this one in particular I did not. I just applied the Stylrens White Prime. This is my favorite primer, by the way. Another Badger Air product, using my Patriot 105. And then the base coat, Timber! The base coat started out with Zombie Skin from the Army Painters Zombicide paint line. The paints that I used from this come from two different sets, the core Zombicide paint set, as well as the Prison Outbreak and the Toxic City Mall secondary paint set. I didn't use all the paints in the paint line, just ones that were appropriate to this. Now, I will say that I did really stretch these paints kind of to their limits. I really like the Army Painter paints for a couple of reasons. One, the color palettes are nice and clean, and two, they use a really strong liquid pigment. And as I said, I really stretch these paints, I think, to their limits just by thinning them considerably, not only with water, but also with inks and their shaders. So, as I said, I started out with the Zombie Skin for the base. That was then shaded with Bony Spikes, as well as the like the open sore areas. I used Crusted Sore. This is probably my favorite red color at the moment. It is very, very strong red, and it leans a little bit to the cooler side of red, so it's got kind of a bluish purple hue to it. Again, one of my favorites, if not my absolute favorite red shade at the moment. Now, again, in those areas, I used considerable amounts of the three shaders that come in the paint set. Toxic Shader, obviously in the Toxic City Mall Prison Outbreak set. This is more of a purple. It's a deeper color. The Jumpsuit Shader, this is more red. And then this one here, the Zombie Shader, comes in the core set. This is a brown shade. One of the things that I really like about the Army Painter sets is that they're built off of a core series of colors that work well when you obviously mix them. So moving from the base of the model in regards to the skin, on the metal side, I actually started with a base of dirt splatter to give everything a brown undercoat. I wanted a real dingy kind of coppery look to the metals. And so from there I go to the Minotaur paint line and I actually base with the coppery coin because I want a dirty coppery finish to the metals here. Now I did the sword blade a little bit different than what I did the armor plating with. I shaded with the Tinny Tin from the Vallejo Game Color line. And this is very similar to an older Games Workshop paint that I really, really like. Throughout the whole project, I did a lot of washes and glazes. I moved into using the heavy body black for, black lining, quote unquote. I'm not really a black liner, but there are areas that really need to be separated. So I would either just go straight heavy body black, or I would add heavy body black to one of the three shaders in specific areas. And obviously, with that, the results that I got, I'm very, very happy with. These colors play very well together. Lots of glazes with fallout. That's where I get basically kind of the green, rotteny look in some of the areas that the flesh looks like it's just really nasty and rotty. As well as on the boils, right? I use that on the boils as well as the toxic boils. Fantastic lavenderish purple color. Thins down really, really well. Provides a fantastic glaze and is exceptional at really kind of making things look gross. So this model, all in all, I used, like I said, a series of paints from the core Zombicide paint set as well as the Prison Outbreak Toxic City Mall set. Some paints from a couple of other lines. The really shiny reds for the gore and the blood obviously comes from the Tamiya red. Tamiya or Tamiya, however you want to say it. I'm a young kid. It was introduced to me as Tamaya when I first started modeling airplanes and cars. With that, we'll take a look at the model, and then we'll take a look at the new paint sets. Starting top down as usual, I'm just going to point out a few things on this model. I'm not going to go into it too heavily. There'll be some pictures and a 360 at the end of this video, so you guys can take all the time you like to study and look at them. The left arm, I really kind of wanted to give the left arm basically a dead flesh or a dying flesh look. You see this a lot in gangrenous situations where, say, somebody has to have their arm or leg amputated. Skin is dying, it's turning a purplish red, so I really kind of wanted to outline that and give it that look. The back is phenomenally detailed on this model, and I really had a good time adding bruises and, as you can see, some nastiness, some gore to the area. I didn't go overboard adding a lot of the gloss red to this model because, well, quite honestly, as you rot, your skin kind of dries out. So having it really gooey and gory was not something I wanted to showcase on this particular model, I should say. So looking at the sword, there are some flesh tones in there, but for the most part, that is plate mail metal and gun metal with a little bit of the copper coin in there, as well as some of the shaders. So again, working some of the colors in regards to the purples and obviously the reds throughout, even in the metals. Now the metals aren't extremely metal, right? Like I said, I want them to be kind of a rundown version of a metallic color. The open areas of the gut, you can see maggots in there. Now again, I didn't want like a huge amount of gore because, quite honestly, I think that takes away a little bit from the paintwork itself. We've got stomach acids oozing out, added a little bit to the base. I did, some greens and purples in the base, really to kind of not take away from the model itself and really kind of showcase what it was. So all in all, I'm extremely happy with this paint job. It was a lot of fun to do. I pushed the paints really kind of to some serious extremes to see what I could get out of them, and I'm very happy with the results that were achieved. So let's take a look at the new Zombicide paint sets really quick, and we'll go from there. We're going to take a quick look at the two newest Zombicide paint sets from the Army Painter, the Black Plague set here, and then the Survivor paint set here. Excuse the glare. I have not yet got my lighting squared away in the new hobby room, so we will have glare issues probably for a couple of episodes. But again, we're going to take a look at these two really quick in depth. Now, a quick what's in the box for the Black Plague / Wolfsburg set. We get a couple of pieces of literature. This is just a simple Army Painter brochure. It's a little 4-page fold-out that shows you some of the products that you can get, what's available, basically paints, accessories, and gaming accessories on the back. A quick guide to using more paints. This is their standard brochure that goes in, I believe, each one of their paint sets. I have a couple of these. Pretty much just kind of detailing and showing your quick shades, your metal effects, your inks, edge highlighting, available colors for the primers, a little endorsement there on the back from Mr. Mike McVeigh, and then of course the new paints. You also get a hobby highlight brush in here. New paints consist of Wolf Grey, Abomination Gore, Plague Skin, Necromancer Cloak, a Plague Shader, a Deep Shader. You get metallics this time, a Claymore Blade, the Bright Gold, then Leather Brown and Elf Green to finish out the colors. I have not used any of these yet, however I have a project coming up in the near future from Red Box Games for Kings of War that I will use a number of these colors on. In fact, I will use all of these colors on it. I am very excited to get that project on the table and to check out this new color line with that project. So we will we'll do some videos in the future in regards to what I'm using paint wise on that project and kind of detail it out as we go. The Zombicide Black Plague paint set from the Army Painter. Just a quick unboxing to show you guys what is in the box. And a quick what's in the box for the Zombie Survivor paint set. This one keyed for the last release of Zombicide, both the Rue Morgue and the Angry Neighbors. As you can see, we've got 4 different colors, a metallic and a shader. We have Survivor Skin. This is Babe Blonde. Babe Blonde. Light Denim Combat Fatigues. We have the Machine Metal, which looks like a color I'm really going to enjoy, as well as the Survivor Shader. The Army Painter is doing a great job at expanding the shading line. I really like the shaders that they do. They are a fantastic set of inks, and I am looking forward to putting this into the lineup. So there you go, quick unboxing of the Survivor paint set from the Army Painter.